Krishna Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Prabhuji. Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Mother.
So by his permission, we would like to start, even though I'm not supposed to talk in front of him because he's my Diksha Guru. Okay, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Cheva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayaudirayet Nashtaprayashu Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavate Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Nashtaki. Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, 4th canto, 18th chapter, verse number 4. Tan atishtati yaha samyak upayan purvadarshitan avara shraddhayopeta upe yan vindate anjasa. Tan, those, atishtati, follows, yaha, anyone who, samyak, completely, upayan, principles, purva, formally, darshitan, instructed, avaraha, inexperienced, shraddhaya, with faith, upetaha, being situated, upeyan, the fruits of activities, vindate, enjoys, anjasa, very easily. Translation by His Divine Grace, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. One who follows the principles and instructions enjoined by the great sages of the past can utilize these instructions for practical purposes. Such a person can very easily enjoy life and pleasures. Purport by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada ki jai. The Vedic principles, Mahajano Yena Gathasa Pantha, are just to follow in the footsteps of great liberated souls. In this way, we can receive benefit in both this life and the next. And we can also improve our material life. By following the principles laid down by great sages and saints of the past, we can very easily understand the aim of our life. In the word avaraha, meaning inexperienced, is very significant in this verse. Every conditioned soul is inexperienced. Everyone is abodhajat, born a fool and rascal. In democratic government at the present moment, all kinds of fools and rascals are making decisions. But what can they do? What is the result of their legislation? They enact something today just to whimsically repeal it tomorrow. One political party utilizes the country for one purpose, and the next moment another political party performs a different type of government and nullifies all the laws and regulations. This process of chewing the chewed, punha punhas charvita charvananam, will never make human society happy. In order to make all human society happy and prosperous, we should accept the standard methods given by liberated persons. Om Agyan Timirandasya Gyananjan Shalakaya Chakshuranmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Sthapitam Yena Putale Swayam Rupa Gadavahiyam Dadati Sapadantikam. Hey Krishna Karna Sindhu Dinbandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Navastate Tapta Kanchan Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vishbhanusute Devi Pranamami Adipre. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advait Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhaktavinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare. One who follows the principles and instructions enjoined by the great sages of the past can utilize these instructions for practical purposes. Such a person can very easily enjoy life and pleasures. Okay, so anybody in this class who is looking forward to suffer and see how miserable the day is going to be and how miserable the week and the month is going to be? Anybody in this class looking forward for some misery?
No, ma'am.
Yes. Can't wait to be miserable. Anybody here?
We want to be peaceful, Mataji.
Yes, so you want to be peaceful and happy and satisfied, right? So, but what do we do? What do we do to make ourselves peaceful or happy or satisfied? We mostly live in the mind level. You see, we have to understand that what is telling us that this is a way to be happy? What is telling us So the voices around us, if we did this workshop with our devotees one time, that each devotee was specifically asked to introspect, which is very interesting, that what was their ambition in life, and what was the reason behind that ambition. Who were they hearing? Let somebody wanted to be a businessman. Okay, if that's their work ambition in life, then who were you hearing? Who wanted you to be a businessman? Well, the society says that there's a lot of money, or the family members have a business and they want to take it over, or they are very enamored by some role model, or it is the inner voice that they don't want to have a boss over them. They want to run their own show and be famous, because fame looks very attractive in the society. So the way to be famous is to do the business and to be very successful. So the point I'm trying to make is that in that workshop, we were each supposed to pick up one, because we have so many identities, or we are wearing so many hats. Pick up at least one major goal that we had in our life, and we achieved it, and what was the cause behind it. So listening to other devotees, it was like, wow, we are actually hearing a lot of voices outside of us. We are actually hearing the society is motivating, the media is motivating, the family is motivating or pushing to move forward. So, but in the Shastras, in so many noises, the Shastras are telling us, Srimad Bhagavatam is saying us, that go inside, listen to the principles and the instructions which are enjoined by the great sages of the past. Listen to that, follow that. And what will happen? That is also given. What will happen, that if you utilize this, then we can be very happy in this life, and you can enjoy a lot of pleasures. And plus your spiritual life is also guaranteed. The Prabhupada is giving example of the democratic government today. Right? Democracy. Anyone knows what Prabhupada used to call democracy as? Anyone knows what he used to call democracy as? Anybody knows?
Democracy. Democracy.
Crazy.
Very nice. Yeah, so he said demon crazy. So democracy is a demon crazy. I have heard Prabhupada's lecture like that. So basically, what are they doing? They don't have any base or foundation of the scriptures. It is all at the mind level. If I will do this, then I will get this, they will get this, and then let's do this. So, but actually at the end, everything is getting defeated. What makes it defeated? We make so many plans. At the beginning of the class, I asked each one of you, how many of you are waiting to be miserable and sad and can't wait to face any other misery? None of you said we are waiting. So basically, but then we still get miserable. Yes, you have this experience in your life that you thought that your plan will work out, everything will happen. People say usually that in the marriage. So, okay, if I get married, I'll be so happy, but the plan didn't work out. Yes, or anywhere in your life, any other walk of your life. You have
We heard people saying that.
No, on your own. I'm asking you. Which one of you?
That quite often happens.
That requires what?
It happens quite often.
Quite often
Oh, it happens
happens.
quite often. Yeah, that's true. Yes. Oh, I'm gonna go on vacation to this particular place, and then we're gonna be relaxing. But guess what? It was an exhausting vacation. So you actually need another vacation to come out of that vacation. So it happens, right? So what makes our plans defeated? What makes, because we are listening to whose voice? Next time you make a plan, and every moment we are making a plan, then give yourself some room to breathe, and then figure out, because this is practical purpose, figure out that whose instruction are you following? Are you following the instruction of your mind? Are we following the instruction of, or whose voice is pushing? The family, the society? Where is this coming from? And if it is not coming from Krishna consciousness, then take more time and think about it and discuss with senior devotees, and then take action, because Srimad Bhagavatam is guaranteeing that you will be easily enjoy life and pleasures. It will be easy for that particular person. We have some examples in Srimad Bhagavatam of that. Can you give me some examples from Srimad Bhagavatam who were following the principles and instructions enjoined by great sages of the past? Some examples of personalities?
Mataji,
Did that?
Amrish Maharaj.
Devuti Mataji.
Okay, Amrish Maharaj. Okay, very nice. Who else? Huh?
Devuti Mataji.
Parikshit Maharaj.
Parikshit Maharaj.
Maharaj. Parikshit Maharaj enjoy life and pleasures. Yeah, he was a devotee, so we can say okay. But I was looking for a example where literally they are getting instruction from a senior devotee or the spiritual master, and then you can literally see.
Arjuna got all instruction from Krishna. Arjuna got all instruction from Krishna.
Narada Muni.
Dr. Parik, who are you saying?
Arjuna got all instructions from Krishna.
Okay, we can say that. Okay, Arjun. Okay, and somebody said Narad Muni. How is
He
Narad
got-
Muni the example of material life enjoyment?
No, as a boy, he got from the sages, no, Mataji. When he was
Yeah,
a
but then
boy.
was he enjoying the life and pleasures of the material life?
No,
I
no,
thought,
no.
No.
but he had a lot of sukriti to become Narad Muni. Yeah, that is true. Okay, who else? How? Where?
Pandavas, Mataji.
Yes, but how?
Pandavas.
Because they were under action of devotion and direction of Krishna.
Okay, very nice. I was hoping I'll get from Srimad Bhagavatam reference that in first to 9th chapter, Krishna, the Pandavas were taking instructions from Bhishma Dev. And then in 7th canto, Yudhishthira Maharaj takes instructions from Narad Muni how to rule. You know, like I'm looking for like solid reference of what's backing your statement up. Okay, very nice. Anything else? Yes, Shakti Avasthi Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji. I think there is an example from 5th canto when Rishabh Dev is giving instruction to his sons.
Very nice. Yes, Rishabh, 5th canto, 5th chapter, the whole chapter. Yes, very nice. Thanks. Thank you. Very nice example. What else, Mataji? Rupali Rana Mataji.
Dhruv Maharaj got a Dhruvlok only.
Dhruv Maharaj took instructions from Narad Muni. Who did he take instructions from to rule? Okay, Kinte, very nice. Thank you. Very
Sons
nice.
of Daksha took instructions from Narada Muni, no, Mataji.
Daksha took instructions from Narad Muni.
Sons of the Daksha.
But then
Daksha's
they
son.
became renounced. No, but we are looking for examples who actually you can actually see that they're enjoying life. You're not wrong, Mataji, but my question is a little difficult.
Maitreya Munivar.
Maitreya Rishi took instructions from who?
Maitreya Munivar. From I don't know, ma'am.
Okay,
I
I don't know.
know
I
Maitreya
thought he's
Munivar.
giving instructions to Vidur. I thought Maitreya Rishi is talking to Vidur. Okay, very nice. So basically, these examples are giving us a real insight that this indeed is true. What is written or what is said by Mother Earth to King Prithu is indeed true. And if you have to now think of an example where somebody followed a role model. Let's say somebody asked why you became a businessman, or because my grandfather was a businessman. So that person's role model is the grandfather. Okay, now tell me, think of an example in your life, or if you have heard of somebody's life where the aim was to become happy, but did they really become happy? Yes, any examples? Do I know any examples like that? Yes, I know. I had a friend in college in Mangalore, and we were one time talking that why did we take to medicine? So she was saying because my father would be very, very upset if I don't take medicine. So I took, anyway, she did very well. My friend was very intelligent. And then she actually was one of the top physicians in Delhi. And one time my niece went to her for a checkup, and then she was just talking to my sister, and then she said that, we just emphasize and glamorize the profession or education a lot. It actually doesn't give any satisfaction. She said that. Physically, she was not satisfied. Yes, do you know any example like that? Or are you an example? I mean, you don't have to share in public, but at least think. Okay, nobody. Anyway, just food for thought. Any questions, reflections, realizations, or can I go to Damodar Leela? Last call. Any questions, reflections, realizations on that verse, or can we go to Damodar Leela?
Mataji, no question, no comment, no realization.
Mataji, most of our decisions and plans are based on sense gratification and materialistic approach. And that is why we become unhappy ultimately. They are not spiritually oriented. They are materially oriented. And the more we get involved into material aspects, and the more misery it will. So Dukhala is the ultimate end of all the endeavors which we do.
Very nice. Yeah, that's a good reflection. Even Prahlad Maharaj says in 7th canto that the misery of the conditioned soul starts when it plans to enjoy something in this world. So as soon as we start to plan something here, according to Prahlad Maharaj, our miserable condition has already started.
Initially,
Just by planning.
Soul is completely pious and pristine, pure, but contamination with material objects results into contamination, and the misery begins right from there, after the birth.
So we have to detox ourselves.
Yeah, but at the time of birth, it is all pure and divine.
At the time of birth. No, it is always divine and pure, not just at the time of birth.
But it gets contaminated. My point is, it gets contaminated, coming in contact with material universe.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
If we don't have a guru, then what is the difference between us and animals?
Yes, but having a guru is not enough. One is supposed to follow them too. It's not just like I have a showpiece photo in my altar and then Guru does his job, I do my job. Like, Nala Kuvera and Manigriva. Let's not become like that. When Narayan Muni is walking to them and they say, okay, you do your business, we'll do our business.
No, we have to follow instructions also.
Yeah, so having a guru means a lot more. It's a very big relation. And relationships require work. Okay? That's why Mayavadi philosophers don't want to have any relation, because, oh my God, there's going to be frustration, there's going to be this, there's going to be that. So better not to have anything. Okay, let's start. 10th canto, Srimad Bhagavatam, 10th chapter, verse number 8. Shri Naraduvacha nahi anyo jushtato joshyan buddhi brahmashurajo gunaha Shri Madat abhijatya de yatra stridyutam ashavaha. This is a very nice verse, very nice verse. Translation: Narad Muni said, among all the attractions of material enjoyment, the attraction of riches bewilders one's intelligence more than having beautiful bodily features, taking birth in an aristocratic family, and being learned. When one is uneducated but falsely puffed up by wealth, the result is that one engages his wealth in enjoying wine, women, and gambling. Purport: among the three modes of material nature, goodness, passion, ignorance, people are certainly conducted by lower qualities, namely passion and ignorance, and especially passion. Conducted by the mode of passion, one becomes more and more involved in material existence. Therefore, human life is meant for subduing the modes of passion and ignorance and advancing in the mode of goodness. Tata rajastamo bhava kama lobhadasya chaye chitta eter anavidham sthitam sattve prasidati. Bhagavatam, 1st canto, 2nd chapter, verse 19. This is culture. One must subdue the modes of passion and ignorance. In the mode of passion, when one is falsely proud of wealth, one engages his wealth only for three things, namely wine, women, and gambling. We can actually see, especially in this age, that those who have unnecessary riches simply try to enjoy these three things. In Western civilizations, these three things are very prominent because of an unnecessary increase of wealth. Narad Muni considered all this in the case of Manigriva and Nala Kuvera, because he found them so much pride in the wealth of their father, Kuber. I was trying to look for the Sanskrit word of these things. So, Joshan, very attractive, different. So basically, we are studying that Parikshit Maharaj asked Sukdev Goswami that what made Narad Muni curse Nala Kuvera and Manigriva. So Sukdev Goswami starts to talk that they were associates of Lord Shiva, they were in Kailash, they were drinking Varuni Madira, they were in Mandakini Ganges, they were with young attractive women, and they were in the Ganges with them, and they were singing, and the girls were singing behind them. And their eyes, they were completely intoxicated. Their eyes were rolling in intoxication. And when Narad Muni passed, they could not even see Narad Muni. But the girls saw them, and Shigram, very quickly, very swiftly tried to cover their bodies. So when Narad Muni saw that, then he said this. Say Narada Uvacha. He said this. Material life, you see, Srimad Bhagavatam tells us that what we are actually attracted to. Okay, the next time you find yourself attracted to something, this is a practical application. Figure out in which of the 4 categories it is fitting. Okay, riches, very good education, very big birth, or very beautiful body. Janma Aishwarya Shrutashri. Even Queen Kunti says that in first canto 8th chapter of Srimad Bhagavatam. But he's now dissecting it more. He's analyzing it more. He's saying that out of riches, having good bodily features, education, and being born in an aristocratic family, the attraction for riches is the most dangerous. Okay, it's very, very dangerous. Because what happens that one becomes falsely puffed up. Falsely puffed up means that one feeds their mode of passion more. And then one wants to acquire more and more commodities to enjoy more and more. So what do they get when they have a lot of money? 3 things. What are the 3 things? Wine, a woman, and gambling. If a person is not in Krishna consciousness, they're going to utilize their money for these things. And we see that. There's so many brothels, slaughterhouses. And because of wine, women, and gambling, animals are killed. And because the animals are killed, one becomes more and more engaged in material life. One thing leads to another thing, and this is like a chain reaction. Another thing leads to another thing, another life, another birth, another situation. But one can completely get bewildered by the riches one has. This is my personal realization that if somebody doesn't have money, so let's say they don't have enough money, then the things which are apparently attracted disappear. For example, for example, if somebody is very rich, they can see diamond shops. They can see a variety of restaurants, they can see variety of countries, they can see variety of modes of communication, modes of transportation, right? But the person who has no money in their pocket, these things are there, but they're not visible to this person. The person is not attracted. What will, right or wrong? Do you have that experience? Or have you seen anything like that in your life? In someone else's life? The things are not visible.
That's very true, Mother.
Very true, Mataji.
Absolutely true.
As soon as the money comes, these things suddenly become visible. Suddenly, okay, now I have money. Okay, now there's a restaurant here. Okay, now there's a shopping mall here. Okay, now there's this new model of phone coming out, new model of watch coming out. Okay, now I can upgrade my house like this, because the money comes and then this sense of passion is fed. That is why if one is not engaging their hard-earned money in the service of Krishna, one is actually buying birth after birth, next birth with that money, which is very entangling. And that's what Narad Muni saw with these 2 boys of Kuber, Nala Kuvera and Manigriva. They were drinking wine. They were already getting engaged in with the woman. Now, Narad Muni didn't give them enough time for gambling because he cursed them even before that. Otherwise, they would have done that also. So, next few verses, Narad Muni is going to glorify how actually poverty is a boon. spiritually, we have seen that people who are spiritually advanced don't like to be rich, don't like to possess too many things. I have seen, you see Prabhupada, look at Prabhupada's life. Prabhupada had temples in practically all the continents, major continents of the world. How many of us have houses in all the major continents of the world? Now I can fly from this continent to that continent and I'm going to have my own house, and then from here to India, to Japan,
None of us.
Japan to Australia, from Australia to US, from US to South Africa. Yeah, how many of us have houses everywhere?
No.
Yes.
Mataji, the
Oh, Mataji.
most beautiful part is they don't have any requirement.
Yes, because they're not satisfied. Tushtita, I think. Anyway, so we don't have that, right? None of us have that. None of us can have that actually. Krishna is not going to allow. The people can be very rich and can have house here, house there, 3-4 countries, but not in every continent. It won't be allowed. Prabhupada had that. Prabhupada had everything. He would go, he would be received very aristocratically, and then he would live, but he would deliberately tend to not live more than 3 days at a place. Just keep moving, because he was not attached to that place. He was attached to the service. He wanted to bring all the people from all walks of life to Krishna. And for that, he took all this, all these endeavors and all these difficulties so that Krishna can be served. Krishna's name can be spread. His spiritual master's order can be served. So this is difficult. So that if one has that consciousness, or even if one doesn't have that consciousness, one can offer prayers to Prabhupada to give intelligence as to how I can engage my heart and money in the service of Krishna. And Prabhupada will give intelligence. We are not asking, so we're not getting. If you ask it, you will get it. And that's a promise. Prabhupada will definitely give intelligence. I have seen it so many times in my life. That if you ask Prabhupada, you write to Prabhupada, or you pray to Prabhupada, how can I be of service to your movement, Prabhupada? Because I really want to serve. Then Prabhupada will give you intelligence in your heart. So then the same money can become a source of buying a ticket back to Godhead. But if it is not used in that way, if it is materially utilized, then the same thing will be a problem, will be materially entangling. So Narad Muni was able to see that. He was able to clearly see what these boys are doing and what is actually making them so puffed up. And then he was able to tell that out of the 4 things, the most bewildering thing is having these riches. Okay, so remember this, and then hopefully tomorrow we'll be able to study about starting from poverty. Any questions, reflections, or realizations? Let me check the chat. Any questions, reflections, realizations? Ananda Mataji?
Mataji. Mataji, if I'm taking up a job, how should I do it, Mataji?
Mataji, what?
If we are looking out for a job and if we get selected, how should the prayer be, Mataji?
Well, how should the prayer be? Like, okay, so I'm not saying we should not have a job and we should not have a source of income, but the consciousness should be that how can I purify my existence? That's the main thing. I am impure. Every endeavor is covered with fault. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, there's going to be some fault even there. But Krishna, can you please give me intelligence as to how I can always remember you and how I can serve you in whatever capacity I can. And serving Krishna just does not mean serving the temple. Serving Krishna also means that serving the dependents. If you have children, then serving them in the consciousness that they are Krishna's part and parcel. It's not related, but I'll give you an example. So I'm reading this book, Heart and Soul Connection. This is by Grihastha Vision Team in ISKCON, as to a devotional guide to marriage, service, and love. So basically, the devotees who wrote this book, I know one couple in Gitanagari, so I got the book from them. So in the preface of the book, there is an example of one devotee called Balai Devi Dasi. She was Prabhupada's disciple in Boston. And when she got married, it's written that she approached Prabhupada that, Prabhupada, how should be my relationship with my husband? Prabhupada said the relationship with your husband should be exactly the same way as you have a relation with your right hand to your left hand with body in the center. Means put Krishna in the center and have a relationship with your husband like that. And then, of course, it expands. How should I have a relationship with my children, my dependents, my society, my what? So as exactly as you have a relation with your right hand to left hand with body in the center, so right hand, left hand with Krishna in the center. So if you want to have a relationship with your job, then have it in that same consciousness that I am doing this job because I want to serve. I want to be able to serve Krishna. And how will I do that? I may not know right now, but I'm praying for intelligence.
Okay, Mataji. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
I don't know if I answered. Hare Krishna. Sunil V. Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. In this verse, Mataji, it says passion and ignorance, right? The word passion and ignorance have been used. A little challenging word is passion. It also emphasizes that you should not have passion.
Conducted by the mode of passion and becomes more and more involved in material existence. What is your question, Prabhu?
And the next sentence also says, mode of passion is dangerous.
People are suddenly conducted by lower qualities, namely passion and ignorance, and especially passion. Conducted by the mode of passion, one becomes more and more involved in the material existence.
Yeah, so can you explain passion?
Yeah, so you see, what does the mode of passion makes one do? Intense greed, intense endeavor, right? So it is
passion towards Krishna consciousness is wrong.
No, we are talking about material. Here you have to read the whole sentence. Among the three material modes of material nature. The conversation is starting with this. Among the three modes of material nature. Namely, goodness, passion, ignorance. People are certainly conducted by lower qualities, namely passion and ignorance. So this is material passion and material ignorance.
Hare Krishna. Got it, Mataji. Thank you.
Okay. Hare Krishna. Dr. Saxena, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. In fact, just a reflection. Prabhupada came from a very aristocratic family. In fact, he renounced many things, but whatever riches he had, he utilized for entire creating this movement of Krishna consciousness. That is what I got from.
Have you read Prabhupada Lilamrita? Because that's not what I know.
Not Lilamrita, but about his life, beginning. How did he start and how did he take up to US, and then he came from a very rich aristocratic family of West Bengal and Calcutta rather. And then he renounced everything to take up this, traveled all the way to US and utilize his money for that, creating this movement. This
He came from a rich family, but then that's not how he started ISKCON. Prabhupada was a very big businessman. He had his own chemical factory, chemist factory.
Yes.
And he says one astrologer told him that he should be as rich as Birla and Tata, right? But then Krishna. So when Prabhupada came to US, he had 40 rupees. And at that time, there was no conversion of 40 rupees to dollars. So basically, he had no money.
Yeah, at that time.
So he did not bring any money. He brought wealth of Krishna consciousness.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Okay. But yes, when he was married and he was earning, then yes, he was giving donation to Gaudiya Math, and then he was publishing the newspaper Nadia. I'm forgetting the name. Nadia Vichar. I'm forgetting the name. He was distributing, he was, funding his god brothers, but not when he took sannyas. He had nothing. His wife sold his Srimad Bhagavatam to buy biscuits for tea. His wife sold his translation of Srimad Bhagavatam to buy that. So, Dr. Parekh?
Hare Krishna, Mataji. I think the best way to not get popped up with the wealth, which is the most difficult thing, is to always remember the principle of quota. Krishna says that you have your own quota, and when you take more
see,
than your quota, you are actually stealing from me. So I probably called Isavasya principle. But then that remembering that you have only your quota, then automatically the rest of the wealth remains away from you.
Yeah, but yeah, that's very good point. Very nice point. Thank you. But I would add one more punchline if you give me permission. Well, remembering the quota is okay, but give it also. Give the
Yes. Yes.
give it also where it belongs, which quota where it belongs.
Put it into practice.
Yeah. So yeah, I think I told everyone here one example. One Urmila Mataji, when I met her in the Nagri one in August, she was giving a class and she said, she overheard her two god brothers talking. She's Prabhupada disciple. The one god brother was telling other god brother, my heart is always in Krishna consciousness. My heart is always in Krishna consciousness. The other brother said, okay, your heart, I'm sorry, my heart is always in Mangalarti. Oh, my heart is always in Mangalarti. So the other god brother said, yeah, that's really good that your heart is always in Mangalarti, but sometimes bring your body also. Sometimes you bring your body also. So, that's nice. Ayushya Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Mataji, I want form for Bhakti Shastri class.
Mataji, I can't hear you. Your voice is cracking up.
Mataji. Okay, Mataji, I'm repeating. I want form for Bhakti Shastri class.
I think you asked this question many times now. Mataji, the Bhakti Shastri class form is shared in the WhatsApp group of level 4 people. I am not
Mataji,
aware.
I'm not in that group.
I can check the website. If you know anything else, then you can find it out. But all the people who have joined my Bhakti Shastri class have come from level 3. So what are we registering here? Where is the form here? Mataji, one must be chanting 16 rounds minimum. The Dr. Saxena, you have something there to add to help me?
Yes,
I don't
not
know.
really, Mataji, just a question. In fact, I'm repeating level 3 Shastri class. Then do I qualify for entry into Bhakti Shastri group also?
You are doing level 3, you're chanting 16 rounds?
Yes, Mataji, more than 16 plus. And in fact, I did chapter 12 with you in up to 14th or 15th of December 21. Then I had to leave the group because of death of my wife. But then I rejoined in February or March. Level 3 started all over again. Now following another Bhakti Vriksha group. So now could I join Bhakti Shastri group as well?
Yes. Yes.
Do I okay.
Yes, you should. Yeah. And you're following 4 regulatory principles. You see, because my understanding is Navanisha Prabhu has started two pathways. One pathway is that if only one person is chanting the 16 rounds and not following all 4 regulatory principles, they can join Bhakti Shastri class, but they will not get a degree. But if somebody is following 4 regulatory principles and chanting 16 rounds and giving exams, then they will get the degree.
That is the way of life for me. 4 regulatory principles, that is not an issue. I'm chanting 21 rounds and attending all Bhakti Shastri classes also.
You are eligible.
So and the Aishwarya Mataji or Sri Lakshmi Mataji, whom should I approach?
Aishwarya.
Thank you. Hare Krishna Mataji. Thank you.
If you have any problem, you can email me and I will take it from there. Sure. But I don't know when is the next batch starting, but Aishwarya will be the one.
Sure. Thank you. Hare Krishna Mataji.
Thank you. Hare Krishna. Ayushya Mataji, you are muted. Okay, Mataji, I don't see anything here, but Bhakti Shastri class comes from Mayapur. It's not the Mangalore ISKCON's creation. If somebody has to join Bhakti Shastri, one has to chant 16 rounds minimum. If one wants to get a degree of Bhakti Shastri, then they have to follow 4 regulatory principles and do 16 rounds. Okay, that's non-negotiable. across the world.
Okay.
Thank you. Gayatri Mataji.
Hare Krishna
Gayatri.
Mataji.
Yes, Mataji.
Mataji, I want to do, I'm in Bhakti Shastri in Kannada, but I want to switch over to English. Is that possible?
I don't know, Mataji. I don't deal with any administrative stuff. You can reach out to who is your teacher?
Sachidananda Prabhu.
Oh yeah, ask him. He'll tell you.
Okay. And level 3 I have not done, so I thought I want to join level 3 also.
Level 3,
He says,
I just got a message today. Mataji, just got a message today that the level 3 is starting in 2 weeks. Mataji, please ask whoever you're studying with, and then if you can't get an answer, then let me know.
Yeah, Mataji, I may get it Kannada classes. I want to change over to English. That's why I just asked you.
You can ask. We are not going to prohibit you from joining whatever you want to join, because it is a service to the deities. As long as you're under the umbrella of Sri Sri Radha Govinda temple, you can go from one place to another. No one is going to take an offense for that. Okay.
Okay, Mataji. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Okay, if no questions, reflections, or realizations, then we stop here. Thank you. Anchakalpatarabhyascha, Kripasindhubhya evacha, Patitanam pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo namo Namo, Nantya Koti Vaishnava.